My name's Bob Waddell. I'm a residential realtor with Samson Properties. I'm licensed in Virginia, Maryland, and West Virginia. So I work with buyers and sellers looking to move, in that area, in the Northern Virginia area, the West Virginia Panhandle, and Southern Maryland.
Beautiful. Let's go back a little bit and tell us what made you want to go into real estate. Was that always the dream?
I wish I could say so. Actually, I started off in engineering, did a few other things, but I was always interested in real estate. I grew up in Northern Virginia, so I've experienced kind of the ups and downs of the Northern Virginia market. And I often, in the houses I owned myself, I bought and sold the houses myself without a realtor. And I had to educate myself to do it. And I realized how much knowledge and information was required to do that. And I would talk to friends and I would help other people with it. And, I realized that that was something that I had a knack for, I had an interest in.
Yeah.
So at one point, I took the class, I took the real estate class in 2003, just kind of as on a whim. I passed the test and didn't do a thing with it. And it just went away and lapsed. And then 10 years later, I did it again for real and took the test in 2013. I got my license and started working in real estate.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, it sounds like you did have a knack for it, huh?
I think so.
Me too. And now you often thank your team. What does teamwork look like behind the scenes at your brokerage?
That's a great question. Samson has a tremendous team when it comes to our brokers, our staff behind the scenes. We have an on-site print shop. We do a lot of the work and a lot of the marketing and advertising for homes in-house, so we don't have to rely on outside vendors, outside contractors. Our team is phenomenal. They're based here in Virginia, so our headquarters is in Chantilly. So we're not looking to national company or international company headquarters states away. I can go talk to the CEO. I can go walk in his office and talk to him directly. We work with Cardinal Title, which is a subsidiary of Samson that we own. So that's an option to be able to use a title company that's also based here as well.
Yeah, wonderful. And then how do you empower your team to deliver the kind of service you'd proudly put your own family's name behind?
What I strive to do is help people where their knowledge is short. The reason people use realtors isn't because they don't know how to sell a house necessarily. It's because they don't want to open themselves to the liability. There's a tremendous amount of legal preparation, of contract reading, of just general knowledge, and we can supply that. I don't know everything about real estate, but I know that I can find the answer, and I know that I have a team that does know the answer, even if I don't. We've got many years of experience and much wisdom behind the team that we can use to help a client to not step on a landmine.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. The landmine.
Yeah,
Kind of a scary picture, but I love it. And
indeed.
the, what's one small tradition or ritual your team practices that keeps morale high, especially during stressful seasons?
The thing that we've been able to do, that I do specifically is work with my clients and keep the lines of communication open. So people aren't wondering what's going on or what's happening or, why did my house sell in 2 weeks like my next door neighbor did? I want to communicate with them and let them know what they're going to need to do. I don't want to give somebody a story and give them false hope of a price that they're not going to realize. Well, the last realtor told me my house is going to do, 1.5 million. Well, I don't think it is. I'd rather prepare them and give them a realistic expectation than give them false hope
Yeah,
and fall on their face.
absolutely. Yeah, just being transparent with them. And I'm sure they appreciate that because you don't want to oversell something and then they're just totally let down and they're like, you told me this, right? That's kind of like breaking that trust.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for touching on that. Now let's talk about core values and philosophy. You mentioned working diligently for your clients. What deeper values drive that commitment each day for you?
Well, first and foremost is honesty and trustworthiness. If you can't, trust the people that you're dealing with, well, what's the point? Uh, I want to make sure that everybody knows where things stand, and there's constant training about ethics in real estate so that people know and understand what's going on, and that they're aware, and they're aware of a realtor's responsibility. Virginia has specific laws surrounding who represents who. If I'm a buyer's agent, then I'm representing that buyer. So I can't represent a buyer and a seller at the same time, because that would be a conflict of interest.
Yeah,
So, we make sure to, you know, make people aware of that and
yeah,
educate people through the process.
absolutely. And now, how do your relationships as a husband and a father to four inform your approach to serving families in real estate?
Ooh, great question. What I do is I try to treat people as I want to be treated. I made a move recently. I've been a Loudoun County resident for a very long time. And I just moved to Western Loudoun for a little bit more land, a little less HOA.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So when people want to do that and want to make that move, I love working with them, being able to find the right house for the right family. I know what was perfect for me isn't necessarily right for everyone else, but it's important for people to be able to realize their own goals and to be able to get the right home, but also be able to afford it too.
Absolutely.
In Loudon, that's a big deal. I remember when I bought my first house in the 90s, I had to scrimp and save. Prices have gone up quite a bit.
Oh, I'm sure.
So,
Especially from the 90s. My goodness.
yes,
And then integrity is crucial in real estate. How do you build trust from your very first conversation with a client?
that's a great question. What I like to do is ask questions, make sure that I know what people want and what people need. And then, as we talked about before, is give them the straight answer. Even if it's not the answer they want to hear, I'm going to give them the honest answer, at least as far as I know and as far as I believe,
Yeah.
is accurate. Especially when it comes to pricing a home to sell.
Yeah. And now let's talk market expertise and service. As a local Livingston, Lovettsville expert, hopefully you're still living there, or did you? That's where
Yes,
you moved. Okay.
in Lovettsville, yes.
Beautiful. What trends are you seeing in your market that buyers and sellers should be aware of?
As always, I should say, as of the last few years, there's fewer houses available than there is demand. Whatever trends are going on in the rest of the country, here in Loudoun County and in Northern Virginia, there's a shortage of homes. There's not enough to meet the demand, hence prices go up. However, on the other hand, they're not going up as much as they would if rates were lower. There's some people who want to wait for the rates to come down before they buy, and I understand that. But what they don't realize is that once rates go down, prices will go up even more. So you can always refinance to a better rate. If you get into a house you can afford and you're in a good price range, you can refinance in a year or 2 or 3 years when the rates come down.
Yeah.
But you can't get a lower price later. Whatever the price is you pay, that's the price that you paid.
Up.
My advice to people is as long as it's reasonable, affordable, and possible, buy now or buy sooner rather than later. Don't wait for the rates to go down.
Yeah, no, that was a great way to put it, actually. So thank you. And then walk us through a recent listing your team turned around. What were the key choices that led to that success?
I actually have a listing right now. It's a townhouse that's for sale in Ashburn Village. It was bought new in 1988, and it hasn't been sold since. So it's the first time it's been on the market since then.
Wow.
It's a great house. It's a good starter home, and since it hadn't been, changed hands, not a lot had been done with the house.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in good condition, but it needed a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I was able to do with the client there was I was able to go through, tell him the things it needed. He just handed me the keys and said, "Hey, can you do this?" And I said, "Yes." I went through the house, did some minor work inside, had all the light bulbs changed out to LED. I had landscaping work done outside, and actually the HOA came back with a list for the
Wow.
for the sales package and added a few more items that we didn't have originally, but now we do. So I have somebody there right now actually who's working on it. So we're painting it, doing paintwork on the outside, painting the deck, painting the front door, all those things. But I'm able to handle that for the client, manage the project myself,
Wow.
get the work done, and also have it paid at closing. which is something that's a big deal to a lot of people because
Yeah.
they don't necessarily have five or ten or $20,000 to lay out, before the house is sold. So we'll get that paid at closing and get it done, make it a seamless process.
Yeah, absolutely. And that just goes back to like the honesty and integrity because look at how some clients are just like, here, I trust you. You'll get the job done. I know it. And they give you that, so to speak, I guess, permission or authority to like do that to a home, and then let alone one that hasn't been sold since what was it, the 90s?
It was actually 1988. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So like
exactly.
80s, late 80s. But anyway, like that trust is incredible that people like, especially it comes with the territory and your reputation that you have, right? Whereas if they didn't maybe do their research or their homework on you, maybe they'd be like, I don't know if I want to trust. But because you've probably built that and have a great team, they're just like, yeah, you know what? Bob's going to get it done. Sure, have at it. Here you go. By the way, here's HOA's thing too. I know you'll get it done. Thank you so much for this curveball that you're taking up here. So see that's incredible, and it's a testament to like the hard work you've put in with your name, your brand, and your company.
Yeah, and I enjoy doing that. And I enjoy setting people at ease because I remember what it was like when I was selling my own house. And of course, I was doing it all myself and I was a little nervous, but then once I got it done, I realized, oh, okay, I can do that. So once you've done it a few times, it makes sense. And when somebody hasn't been there themselves, I can set them at ease and I
Yeah,
can hold their hand through the process,
that's
so to
awesome.
speak.
Yeah, you're doing a great job then. And then, how have your goals evolved since you started? What motivates you to keep raising the bar?
Ooh, my my goal has been to expand into multiple states. I started with Virginia. I got my Maryland license a few years in, and then I just got West Virginia a few years ago. My latest goal was to get my broker's license. I'm not looking to leave Samson or go anywhere else or start my own brokerage, but I would like to potentially manage an office, one of the branch offices.
Yeah.
So I actually just passed the broker's exam in Virginia
Oh,
uh, 2 weeks ago.
well, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you. I
awesome.
don't have it listed anywhere yet, but that
Ooh, we
was,
get the first inside scoop then.
yeah, there you go. How
Cool.
about that?
Yeah.
So that was my goal for this year was to do that. And then I'd like to get my broker's license for Maryland and West Virginia as well. They have reciprocity, but there's more stipulations. So it might take me a year or two.
Yeah.
I need to look into it more. But I also enjoy mentoring other realtors. I had a mentor when I started, who's a
Nice.
great guy, still work with, and I want to do that for other agents as they come along, as the opportunities presents itself. Samson has a mentoring program. It's actually required if somebody starts with Samson who's never done real estate before at all. They have to go through the mentor program, or they can opt for it if they're an experienced agent but just want to learn how it works at Samson.
Yeah. That's awesome. Just passing the torch. Like now that you know everything, like you pass it along to other people so they can also be great in their career. So that's great.
I hope so.
Yeah. And now, what role does mentorship play in your business, both for newer agents and for your own growth?
I Well, as I said, I've recently joined the mentor program, so I haven't started
Okay.
yet. I haven't had anybody come through for me. I only recently,
Okay.
started
Gotcha.
and joined. So I expect that to come through. I've encouraged a lot of people to become agents to get their license.
Yeah.
When I talk to somebody who's really sharp, who has an interest, the biggest thing that keeps most people from becoming a realtor is the exam itself, is the training and the exam.
Hmm.
I think it's a 90-hour course to get your real estate license. I know it's a 180-hour course to get your broker's license because I just finished it.
Can you share a moment when stepping outside of your comfort zone led to a big breakthrough in your business?
Thinking about repairing homes, the first time I did that was a home. It was another townhouse. It was in Sterling Park. And it was a good friend of mine's father's home. And
Okay.
he had lived there for a long time. Gosh, he'd been in the house at least 30 years. Nothing had ever been done. And, and he had a habit, or I don't know if it was a habit, maybe it was a vocation. He liked to recycle metal in his house.
Okay.
Think of, I don't know, Porterhouse meets meth lab. That's what it looked like. It was rough.
It
So,
sounds like it.
yes. So he obviously wanted to sell it. He didn't want to sell it as is. So he said, he said, can you help me? Can we get this fixed up? And of course I said, yeah, let's do it. Thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I
Oh,
think
let's
I
get it
can.
done. You're
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing?
Yeah. And we spent about a good month getting it ready. And in that time, we redid every visible surface of that house on the inside and most of the outside too. We painted it, painted the ceilings, redid all the flooring, changed out the electrical outlets, changed out the light switches, changed out the vents, most light fixtures. Pretty much anything that you could see or touch,
Mhm.
we changed on the house.
Wow.
And by the time we were done, it looked like a model home. It looked good, and it came
Wow.
out, and I was a little shocked. I did some of the work myself, but most of the work, obviously, I contracted,
Yeah.
and that was the start of it. And I realized, wow, that's pretty neat that we could do that.
Yeah,
That we could
absolutely.
sell it. So when we sold the house, it sold for the appropriate price. It sold for a good price. We weren't discounting it for anything. We weren't apologizing for anything. It's like, here's this house, but it's got this or it's got this issue. There was no apologies for it, and it sold. I think it sold within the first week it was listed.
Nice. Put in all that work and it paid off, huh?
It did.
I
It
kind of
did.
wish like you did a before and after video. I don't know if that was like available at the time where you could be like, look at this and now look at it now.
We should have, and I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but yes, I
It's
wish I
okay.
had. It would have been, yeah, it would have been
Night and day.
stark. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it would have been one like, that's not the same house.
Maybe
But
next time,
yeah,
next time. Next
exactly.
time there's like a crazy house and then it's like so beautiful. I think that would
Yes.
be great. Is there anything I have not touched on that perhaps you would like to get out there?
Uh, I think that's it. There's another thing that I've been able to do. So yes, there is something that I can do for clients that if they're not moving today and they're not ready to move right now, that I can help clients with. It's something I use when I list a house. Here in Loudoun, most people are on Dominion Energy for their electric. And there's a program Dominion has that they'll pay to have your light bulbs changed to LED if you haven't done that already. If you have incandescent bulbs or CFL bulbs, they'll pay to change out your bulbs to brand new LEDs at no cost to you. So I obviously do that with any house I list. But if somebody has a home that they need that done, I can do that. I can do that program now. So even if they want to stay, obviously if they're not selling,
Yeah.
but they can do that just for their own sake.
That's awesome. That's good to know. I didn't even know that. I used to have Dominion. I think, what do I have now? I have Novec.
Novec,
Yeah.
yes.
Do they do that?
Oh, I
Probably not.
wish Novec doesn't have a program like that because Novec doesn't own the infrastructure, the cables, so it doesn't really behoove them to do it.
Wow.
They're using
Okay.
Dominion's infrastructure. But I mean, I could always change somebody's bulbs, but I'd have to charge for the
Yes,
bulbs.
absolutely.
But the free program is only for if you have Dominion and it's for single family homes or townhomes,
Okay.
either one. I could do that.
Awesome. Good to know. Thank you for sharing that insight. Hopefully, a lot of that will hit somebody's ears and be like, wow, let me call Dominion right now. I did not know this. How dare they not tell
Yes.
me?
Well, they could reach out to me. It's done. Dominion subcontracts the work through Honeywell, and Honeywell uses contractors, and I have a contractor that I use specifically, so I could do that for anybody who'd be interested.
Okay, beautiful. So just reach out to Bob. Where's the best place to do that?
Sure, you could send me an email. My email is bobwaddell@verizon.net, or you could call me. My number is 703-431-0696, and I could schedule that.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate you taking time to be here and telling us a little bit about your journey, your values, your team, and just everything about your career. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I sure appreciate it.